Hey, welcome back to the Dink and Dish podcast. I'm Barbara Brodowski, and I'm here with fitness legend icon Tammy Lee Webb. And if you walk away knowing anything about us and who we are, we want you to know that dinking
is not a warm-up.
And I still see it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Today's our topic is warm-ups, right? So we can talk how dinking is not your warm-up, but there's a proper warm-up before actually putting the paddle in your hand and doing the game.
Thank you. Maybe that's how I should say it from now on. Before we get started, I was in California at my dad's house, and I had a quick lesson with this lady. She was lovely. And she had us dinking and moving across the court. Instead of just like dinking, we're like moving. Okay, well, this might be something people can buy into. Dink and move. Or I would be dinking and she'd be driving. So, my job was to keep her back. That's a great way to warm up too. So,
but there's two kinds. I see it as two kinds of warm-ups. It's my pre-warm-up prior to getting on the court. So if I get on the court, I will actually, I will do some shuffles. I will do some lunges. I will do, range of motion, anything I can. But once I get dinking, because that's usually what we start with our partner, I think that is another type of warm-up with your opponents, with the ball. Which is not really what we were talking about. We're talking about, because it's all about prehab. We're trying to get you not having a rehab. We want to keep you strong and healthy.
And on the court. Well, before we get started, I just jumped right in because I got all my high horse. Like, they're still just dinking. We haven't been together in a while. This has been a wild summer for us.
Yeah.
So how's pickleball? What have you been doing?
Well, last night's pickleball, I took a fall, a hard fall. Have you done that? Like, have you gone down?
I have fallen, knock on wood. I have fallen leaving the pickleball court.
Oh,
but
okay.
Not on the court.
No, mine, my partner and I are both going back for a lob. And I always, I'll run backwards to a certain extent and then I turn and I run because I don't want to backpedal. And what had happened is I got my feet messed up and I must have touched my other foot. And thank God, I think we talked about this before. I know how to tuck and roll. There is a way of rolling. Well, I of course have my paddle in my right hand and I'm running to the right, tip over. And instead of putting my hand out, because I have broken my wrist before, not in pickleball, I did the tuck. So in my shoulder,
I'm like, I'm coming in with you.
Yeah, I'm coming in and I roll all the way over, but I rolled, it seemed like a couple times. And then I hit the back wall. Well, as I hit the back wall, my other foot, because of the force of the turn, came up and hit my other ankle, which is the ankle that I broke in 2017 that has all this metal and stuff in it. And I was like, ow. And so I lay there for a second. I get up and everybody's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, nothing's, I can move. I immediately start moving things because I want to make sure that parts are moving. I could feel like maybe I skinned up my knee because I hit my knee. And the knee, of course, is one that has a torn meniscus. But it was really that ankle and a little bit up here, more on my boob than on my shoulder. My shoulder like took it and I feel great. But of course, as you cool down and the night goes on, I went home and I took a Epsom salt bath with some lavender and baking soda, and that helps my body a lot. But I get up this morning, I definitely have a bruise on my knee. I had a bruise on my shin, but it was that ankle that was really bugging me today. Yeah. So no pickleball today. I do have it tomorrow, but I know I'll be fine for it. But that was pickleball last night.
I think the last podcast we did was about falling, wasn't it?
Gosh, I can't remember, but I do know we were talking about falling, and there is a proper way, to tuck and roll. And don't stick out the limbs that you can break those wrists.
Yeah, make yourself like a little roly-poly.
Yeah.
I was on a show site for like 11 days. So I had like almost 2 weeks off from playing pickleball. And it was really good for my tennis elbow. It was good for that. And then but before I left, I was in a tournament with my girlfriend, and we won. I won my first tournament.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so much fun. It was so much fun, and I played with my friend Valerie, and we're very equally yoked. We're both aggressive, but we're not too aggressive. But we both hustle. Like when you find those people that you play well with, that both hustle,
Yeah.
and you can trust your partner. Like
Yes.
I'm learning so much about the game now. Before it was just I love the game. Now I'm learning about setting up so my partner can take the shot. So
Yeah.
versus me just banging the
Right.
crap out of it.
Because you know what she can do. So you're trusting her
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the best time, and the teams we played against were really good.
That's
They're real. I
awesome.
mean, they're equal to us. We're all 3.5, but it was fun. So I did that, and then but one thing I did notice was then I played the next day in a fundraiser type tournament with Tony. Had the best time again, someone I can trust. So we just when you gel with
Yeah.
people, like you have people you gel with. So I
Yeah.
played with Tony, and then the next day there was like a special event at the Pickler, and Tammy, I was so freaking sore that to serve the ball, like to lift my left hip up just to step and serve, gosh darn it. Like that's when I realized, okay, this is how you get hurt. Like take a
Yeah.
chill. So
Yeah.
I'm
You
glad I had
have to
some time
know
off.
when to rest.
Yeah. And one thing too is I wanted to tell you, when I was on that show in Vegas, my other job, this guy wheels himself up. And this is why we decided to talk about warm-ups is this guy wheels himself up to like in the commissary, like the, like a craft service at a show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like in a scooter and he's about my age and his foot's in a boot. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, oh, I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And I said, oh, pickleball? He goes,
Pickleball?
how'd you know?
Yeah.
And I go, you didn't run, jump, skip, pop, twist, or lunge. Like you didn't do something before you played. And
did he honestly tell you the truth that he did warm up?
Yeah, he said he didn't warm up. They just got on the court, started playing, and started playing hard, fast. And he heard the worst thing you could ever hear someone say, I heard the pop.
Oh, yeah, Achilles.
Yeah, like he
Ooh-wee.
heard the pop. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dang. So we're going to talk about warm up, and you framed it the right way. There is something you do before you play pickleball and something you do on the court. We're going to talk about when we get to the pickleball courts, what you might see me or Tammy Lee do. And I always say, run, jump, lunge, skip, pop, or twist. Mm-hmm. So you're going to run, you're going to jump, you're going to skip, you're going to hop, you're going to pop, you're going to lunge, or you're going to twist.
Yeah.
And
because those are all the things that you're going to be most likely doing during pickleball game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, pick 3 and spend 5 minutes doing 3. And when I say pop, I'm talking about popping up and down for your Achilles tendon, like to get that Golgi, just to get your brain functioning. Lunge is a lunge with a twist. So something that's compound.
Yeah.
But when you get, and then you can start your dink. But then when you start dinking, same thing, dink and do some running and do some lunging as you dink. And I'm so anti-dink. And I know there's a reason why we do it. It's good for the brain to get that rhythm going. But I just think it's for some reason, Tammy Lee, it's how people warm up their full body.
Yeah. Yeah. Dink, I would rather, instead of just dinking, I like the stand closer and bam, 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 because that is more eye-hand coordination. That's going to be quick and fast as opposed to dink.
Like a volley.
Yeah, volley it. Boom, 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 boom. Because that gets those receptors firing. Yeah. Another fun thing that I do sometimes is just to get my brain working with my body is these little, I think we might have done them before, where you point and your thumb and you quickly change it, pulling energy towards you and then away. So one's going forward, one's going away. And that's really hard to do, but it makes your brain think about it. And it gets this neuromuscular where, okay, I've got my mind's working with my body now. So there's more to it than just the exercises themselves. So basically, warm up, besides being injury prevention, is what we're trying to do, is basically, it really is mimicking what you're going to be doing in your activity. And it's exactly what you said. It's you're going to be popping, you're going to be twisting, you're going to be lunging, you're going to be sprinting, all those things. So you want to do them with a gradual. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gradually warming up our heart rate. So I
Mm-hmm.
usually shuffle around the court just to get my heart rate going. Might do some knee ups, crossing
Yes.
over, just getting my heart rate going. And then when I say stretch, it's not a static stretch, it's a dynamic stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So, just like stretching over and lunging into it. I wouldn't do the static stretch until after I was done playing.
You know what? One thing that's funny about that too is when people. It's so funny you say that when people talk about warm up, they said, "Yeah, I stretched," and I know we've talked about this before. So I don't know. It's like I don't know how to change people's perception of warming up, but they, oh yeah, I stretched.
That's not a
Well,
warm
you
up.
don't want to stretch when you play pickleball because if you stretch when you play pickleball, you're gonna get hurt. Like if something's gonna
No.
like you don't want to stretch before you play pickleball because you're training the muscle to stretch. You want to train the muscle to go go
Go,
go
go, go.
contract contract
Mm-hmm.
contract pop pop pop. Move move move. You don't want to train
Yeah.
it to go la. That's how
Yeah.
people pull their Achilles tendon or strain a hamstring or Achilles or
Yeah.
groin, whatever. It's that stretch that they're doing.
Yeah.
You want to teach the muscle to go back.
I tend to, when I'm waiting for either somebody to serve the ball or if I'm on the baseline, I'm always popping. I'm
Yep.
moving. I'm just popping my heels up, keeping myself warm, keeping myself moving instead of just stopping,
Yep.
just
I
standing
do
there.
that too, Timothy, and I do the pops, but I also I feel like a Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader because I watched the documentary and I want to just be one now.
Oh,
But I just
okay.
do knees up, like it's like knee up, 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 up. I just kind of pop my knees up, and I know it looks funny, but it feels so good because it's rhythmic, so it's good
Yeah.
for your brain. I just kind of pull my knees up a little bit, and another thing I do too is I don't mind once I'm nice and warm. Like I will, if we're playing, 3 games, I will do like a deep squat, and I'll do
Mm-hmm.
like a stretch and open up my
Yeah.
hip
The
flexors,
hips.
open up my groin, and then I serve the ball or whatever. I think
Yeah.
whatever feels good in the moment. But before you hit the court, if you're stretching, it's like, oh no 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 no
Yeah.
no. So do something else.
Yep. I hear you. I hear
What else do you
you.
think is important? If we have them, if okay, if you get to this, I see this all the time. Like we started playing this morning at 9:10. Someone rolls in at 9:08. We are starting at 9:10. What would you tell that 9:08 person to do?
I would definitely do a series of lunging and stretching
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. When I say stretching, dynamic stretching,
Yep,
okay?
yep.
So lunging, and I would go all directions. I'd go front, I'd go back, I'd go side, because those are all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would do it with a rotation. So if I'm lunging, I'm going to cross my lunge over my right leg. So if my left
Okay.
leg crosses, I'm going to lunge because I'm going to mimic me doing a forehand. I'm going to go over this way and lunge. I'm just mimicking the movements that you're going to be doing during pickleball. Overhead, boom,
Mm-hmm.
backhand, anything just, and then, like you said, a deep squat, little jumps, deep squat, twisting side to side. It doesn't take long, but
No.
it's being consistent. So like you said, pick 3 of those, pick 3 and do them. And the 3 that you should pick are the 3 that you find are probably the ones that you need the most. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, because you want to make sure you're doing your shoulders. You want to make sure you're doing your lower body. That's why the lunges, the trunk, the whole twisting
Mm-hmm.
thing, and then ankles. So
Oh.
those would be 4 important like joint parts that are
Mm-hmm.
important because you're doing upper body, you're
Mm-hmm.
doing lower body, and we know how important our ankles and our feet is
Mm-hmm.
to pickleball.
Yeah. It's so interesting too because the ankle rolling thing. So we've talked before. I've broken my left leg twice, and my left ankle is, I call it my. I shouldn't talk crap about her, but I always say my left ankle is the weakest link in my body. If I ever roll an ankle, it's always my left ankle. If I roll, but since I have been working on balance on my left leg, balance, lifting up on my toe and trying to, I can't even do it now. If you're watching the video, like I try to raise on my left toe and hold it just to
Mm-hmm.
get the brain chatting with the ankle so I don't roll it.
Yeah.
Those are things you can do between matches. I'm trying to make it as easy for people to buy into what we're selling. And what we're giving you is free. I'm not even selling anything. To understand how important it is to do these things before you play pickleball. 2 minutes.
Well,
Just give me
because
2 minutes.
if you've ever broken a bone,
Oh,
you know how difficult that is. Bones are worse than muscle. Muscle's easy. Muscle will repair itself pretty quickly. Bones take a lot longer. You and I have both had broken bones. I too, on my left ankle, I have. That's why I think it. When I hit it, I have a lot of. I've got a plate and lots of pins in there.
it goes ting.
But so I know it's pretty solid, but still, it's real important to dorsiflex your ankles, your feet. And dorsiflex just means if you're flat, it's just pulling your feet upward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As opposed to raising up on your tippy toes,
Got it.
it's raising your toes up. So you're on your heels. So even if you walk like on your heels a little bit, forward and backwards, side to side,
Okay.
dorsiflex. It's really good for building and strengthening the tibia, which, helps the lower part of supporting the knees and the tendons on the lower part, as it is for the quads for the upper. And a lot of people don't usually do that. They don't dorsiflex. They just point.
Right away, I went up and down. Yeah.
Up and down instead of pulling the toes back.
Yeah. Okay.
But definitely
Well, that
shoulders, as we know, shoulders, I have really good, I'm not bragging, but I have pretty good rotation. I've never had, knock on wood, any problems in my shoulders. But the shoulders is definitely something you want to make sure, because guess what? You're using your arm. And if you've got anything going on with your shoulder, you will compromise, your body will compromise and then start using more of the forearm. And that's how you get that tennis elbow and you're rotating that wrist. So the mechanics have got to function right in order for you not to compromise one other joint. So really, get full range of motion, forward to back traction, retraction, and then rotation. Like I'm really surprised. And I didn't, so when I work with clients, I'm always looking at their rotation, or how far they can rotate. And men can get pretty good on their rotations. Men are a little bit harder or less in the rotation for their shoulders and their hips, because women have wider hips. So we have, with the Q angle, we have wider hips. We have a good base of support. But in the rotation, you never know. Like one of my girlfriends that I play with, I call her Gigi. She's like the ballerina out there. Everything is just beautiful. The way, even if she misses it, it's like, ta-da,
good lines.
I missed it, right? But it looks beautiful. She's very tall. So she's 6 foot and long levers. So she reaches and she does big rotations. And one time she had said, yeah, my low back. And I'm like, your rotation is really, you're really getting in there and then swinging, but I'm not seeing the warm up. So you got to do that warm up, because she is one that does really big rotations like that. She'll reach out.
And if she has longer levers, the weight of that longer lever,
is heavier. Right.
Yeah, but the wingspan. I played this morning with a girl.
Yeah.
And her name is Mary, and I love playing with her. She was the one who was the hurdler for Duke. And so she's an amazing mover because she's a D1 athlete. But her span is so wide that she goes for every ball and she gets almost every ball.
Wow.
Because she's fast and she knows how to move her body towards the ball. And her span goes so far. It's hard to get a ball over Mary's head, under her legs. You can't go over, under, or around Mary.
Yeah.
All you can do is just keep the ball away from Mary.
Yeah, that's the same with Georgia. She's long levers. I mean, if you think you're going to go over there, she just sticks out her arm. Boom. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. And then if you think you're going to lob her, forget it.
That was with Mary too. Like, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Because I always say, when I can't, I always say I have to go over or under. When someone's so good on the sides, I'm like, I've got to go over or under, like to their feet or over their head. And I'm with Mary, like there's no way around her.
Yeah.
There's no way. You just got to keep the ball away from her.
I have a question. So it's not really a warm up question, but it is something that came up in our pickleball this weekend, and I hadn't looked it up yet. So if you know the ball's going out, but you're running back just to watch it and make sure, and you're outside of the court, but it hits your foot, it hits the foot.
Yeah.
Is that their point?
Yep. Has to bounce. It happened to me today. It's so funny you say that.
Wow.
I was on the outside of the court. I was to the right of the court. So I went and I got a ball on the outside. They hit it right back to me, and I was off the court.
And they hit you, and it was
And then like,
that
what do we do? I'm like, no. It's like I couldn't move myself away.
Move fast enough. Yeah. That's interesting. I saw this game that they were playing. I think it was on, I don't know, Instagram, one of them. And of course they were all young. So they put a ball and a paddle, and there was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them around it. And they, and they spun the paddle, and whoever the paddle stopped at, they had to pick up the paddle and the ball and smack it at one of them.
We're going to do that.
They go jumping over the net. I'm like, oh my God, I would have fallen on my face.
I was joking. I said that to my girlfriends. I'm like, this is our next challenge. And Kimmy goes, I can't jump over the net. I'm like,
I know.
You're short. Just duck. Like someone like me, I always joke, I'm the Amazon woman. Everyone is smaller than me. I'm the Amazon. I'm the rugby player. I call myself the rugby player because I'm one of the taller ones. And she's like, I can't jump. I'm not jumping. The net, but dang, that looks like fun. That's ridiculous.
It does. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, so then they hit you, and then what? So they hit you. Now you just do it again?
Yeah,
I mean, is it that and anytime how many balls you get hit, you're out? Or I don't know. I didn't get the gist of why were they doing this.
I didn't get it either. I just knew I wanted
to do it. Other
than
bruises all over you. I'm like, no, thank you.
I said no, thank you. I go, this is our next challenge, because we see these challenges all the time. We're like, we're gonna do this one next, and I go, add it. We're doing it. We're gonna do it. Do you have trivia this week?
I do. And although I think you're going to know this because you are, I can't say it because then I'll tell the answer. But anyway,
I've been I'm 1 for 4. So
the question is, and this has to do with pickleball, is what does DUPR stand for?
I know it's duper, but I have no idea. It's an acronym for something, obviously.
DUPR. So it's Dynamic Universal Pickleball Rating. So do you know if there's all these different ratings?
I only know of duper. So I don't know the other ones because we use duper for our our tournaments in the Fort Worth area.
This was DUPR, I would think. Is yours DUPER? Yeah, duper.
Yeah, duper,
so,
DUPR.
And then what is the range? So is it 2.0 to?
I want to say 6, maybe 7.
So in tennis, because I play tennis, our rating was, up to a 5.0, right? Mm-hmm. Well, no, this shows 8.0.
Who is that? Ben Johns?
It must be 2.0 to 8.0. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think the best one at our court, his name is Michael Kennedy. He's one of the coaches, and he's a 5.0, and he's the best player, I think probably in all of Dallas-Fort Worth, I'm guessing. And it's a 5.0. Okay.
Well, so, if I'm incorrect, this is just what I had read.
No, I think you're correct, because I remember my husband told me that once before, and I was shocked. That's
duper. Duper is a rating.
Most people fall between 3.0. 3. Most people in my world. Yeah. 3.0 to 4.0. There's maybe a 4.2 in my circle, but you kind of get settled. Listen, and
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
And duper's only important if you're going to play in a tournament. You need to be ranked. And I'm just playing in the final tournaments. I'm not.
I think I'd like to do a tournament only because I'm definitely competitive, and I haven't done something like that in pickleball.
Oh, you need to.
Just to get a total new perspective on that side of it. But I have to tell you who I would play with. I mean, right now I can only think of one person that I really would play with, that because I think we play well. And I won't say that because I'm sure they're listening. But
Well, it's funny because I have a handful of people I play with, and I've played in tournaments with, and I have a core group that I already went through their criteria. Like we have, first of all, we're friends, and we have good energy together, and we trust each other. Like I know when I have the forehand, I'm not offending them if I start poaching, because when I'm on the forehand, take a breath, man, because I got it. And then when they have the forehand, I play, like we have like this rhythm. So when you find these people to play with and you have this rhythm, it's if you don't win, it's still such a good time.
Yeah.
Versus being frustrated, like there's no like you have to have chemistry with the person you're playing in a tournament with.
Isn't that with everything that it's that's meaningful?
Yeah. And it's funny because if we're going off topic now, but if I look back at all my coworkers, there's been certain people that I do so well with and have such good chemistry, and we get so much good work done. And others, I'm like, a boss or a coworker. Yeah, chemistry is critical. Marriage, you gotta have it. Isn't it true? Have you played any duper anything yet?
No, I haven't. And
you guys can enter, your little core group can start to enter things into Duper, create account, and just kind of get you guys settled. Yeah, you don't have to do it. Like you guys, and people need to know that. Like you can actually join Duper and you can add scores from your games that you're playing, just so you can establish some sort of a ranking. And it's hard if you're the same group of people all the time because you're playing against the same people all the time. Duper is more correct when I play against my friends and I play against people I don't know. Right. Because that relieves the test, and play with people that are better than me or are about my level, like that, because every point counts. Right. If I get 9 and you get 11, my 9 helped me move up in Duper. If you had 11 and I had 2, that drags me down a bit. So you guys should do it just almost said the SHIT word, just for giggles. Just try it out.
Okay.
And then you can go to a tournament. You'll have some sort of a ranking. Right.
That's a good idea. I'll look into that.
Everyone should do that. And don't get obsessive about Duper either. We were talking about that today when we were leaving Pickler. We're talking about we don't play many Duper events, and people can get very obsessive about it, and they get like a golfer, happy or sad what they shot. And it adds a different element. Like you're happy if you go up and you're sad if you go down. So don't let it become something that becomes obsessive compulsive. If you're super competitive, do it and then leave it, and then do it and leave it. But don't become obsessive about it, because to me, it does take, and I'm competitive too, but it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give it a try.
So next time we get together, we are going to start having guests. We're at the point now where we have guests on the podcast. So we're going to start inviting people who own products, pickleball products, things to help play pickleball better. So we're going to start adding that to the lineup now. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
So it'll be fun.
Give it a new dimension. Okay. Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Thank you.
Yeah.